Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy Anecdotal, and today, guys, what we're gonna cover is Guild Wars. Now, Guild Wars is such a pivotal part of the game that unfortunately a lot of people just don't pay attention to. And if you want to know why, continue listening and continue watching. As you can see here, Guild Wars pop up every 24 hours. That means that you will have two Guild Wars pop up at a time. So if you look here, the first two Guild Wars are just about ending their 24-hour time period, and the next one just started. It looks to be about 3 hours ago. So you'll always have four wars, and two of them will pop up at a time. And you can attack twice each time. That's why there are two red tickets and two green tickets. So what this represents is the attacks that you have and the amount of flags that you can take. So here in the bottom you see that I attacked twice and I have two red flags, which means I won both attacks. And you can see the same thing happened in the top there. Now the green flags are the flags that you still have. That means that no one attacked me, and that for TW style I was attacked once and I ended up giving up a flag. So one of these guys here attacked me and got a flag. Why do Guild Wars matter? Well, here's the thing, guys. The better your guild, the more wars that you win, the higher your medal bonus will be. So, starting all the way from the bottom, if you are at the scrubbiest of the scrub of guilds, you will only get a 10% increase to your medal buff. Now, honestly, if your guild wins just one war, I'm pretty sure that you will just be way above that ranking. That ranking, I don't think anyone's in there. In fact, when rankings first came out, I believe that my guild was somewhere here around the 200s. And I am in server 7, and I know that depending on the server that you're in, that the Guild Wars may be more or less competitive. But for here, this is where I was. I was getting right around 250 in the guild that I'm currently in. This is where we were. And 250 means we were somewhere between 81 and 90 as a guild. That was our ranking in war. We ended up having a 250% medal buff. Now, that 250% medal buff that was added skyrocketed my progression into the game. And at the time, I was a complete noob. I did Guild Wars because it was fun, and it looked really cool that all of your guys were going against another player, but I wasn't really sure what was happening. Right now, we are at the top-ish of the list, a top 20 or 25 guild, which means I'm either getting a 340% medal boost or a 350% medal boost. And oh man, if you're wondering, is it worth getting into a good guild that cares about wars, and you're weighing the pros and cons on one guild versus another, the ranking on Guild Wars should definitely be something that you consider. One, it shows that your guild is active because they participate in war, and two, your medal buff will be a lot higher. So whoever is in the top 100 gets only 240% of a medal buff, but if you were in the top 25, you'll get 100% more of a medal buff. And that 100% is amazing. So if we wanted to look at certain pets, we can see that if you get flame sorcerers to 5-star, you only get an additional 60%. That means if you were in a top 25 guild instead of a top 100 guild, you would get more of a medal buff just for being in that guild than you would if you 5-star this Flame Sorceress. And for those of you that don't know, the Flame Sorceress is usually a pet that you would get fragments for if you spent money on the game. And we will talk about whether spending money on the game should be a good idea or not, to be in VIP at least, in a future video. But for now, just consider, as a free-to-play player, you can have a higher medal buff than a player that put money into this game to get this 60% medal buff and a fire resist. But you can nullify that and actually exceed that percentage by just joining a guild that has a higher ranking in Guild Wars. So is Guild Wars worth playing? Whew, yes. Just simply for the amount of medal buff that you get. But hold up, guys, because there's more. If you win, let's see if they tell us this here. Guild Wars Man, this is the smallest text ever in life. If your guild wins the war, you automatically get 60 guild coins just for using your tickets. Did you get that? 60 guild coins. And guild coins are just such a great thing to have for buying pet fragments or even going into the shop and buying a necessary unit. So many people need Raven Riders, guys. So many people want a good core for Elf and can get a Druid this way, or can go ahead and get another human trainer. Which, believe me, guys, I have played this game for about 3 months in, and I never got a human trainer. Like, I was suffering so bad. Like, I was starving to get this unit. And when I saw that it was available here, even though it might not be the greatest place to spend these coins, I was able to get it. Now, the place where I mostly spent coins when I first started playing this game were to get these 5-star artifacts. Not the 6, but the 5. The reason for that is because when you use honor coins to try to pull artifacts, it says that you get a range between all the 5-star and all the 6-star artifacts. Well, most of them, I guess. You don't get the secret book one, which is why I have all the 6-star artifacts but still don't have him. Now, the reason I don't have this book is because it's useless. I don't need it. And for collectionist purposes, it'd be cool to say I have them all. But it's, for me, right now, I just look at it as a waste of 4,000. So using my honor coins, I will never end up getting this. The only way to get this is maybe through a ticket voucher, like just a gift, and wasting my 4,000 coins. And it's useless because the only reason to buy 5-star artifacts in the first place is to increase the percentage of getting a 6-star pull when using honor coins. So why is it worth doing guild raids? Because you get 60 at a time, and that means every win. So every 24 hours you get 120, and those numbers will add up. The other thing that you can use guild coins for, of course, are pets, or pet fragments. Now, I already have Woola, so there's no reason there, but whoever it was that was here before, I decided to purchase with 800 guild coins. And right now, as you can see, I have 7,900. Almost close to 8,000, which means I can go ahead and buy 10 of these free pet fragment sale things. I can go ahead and get, so 3 times 10, I can get 30 fragments with only my guild coins. And 30 fragments goes a long way. So, you're still not sold on Guild Wars. Well, guess what? There's another benefit to attacking. Your guild will love you. So, guys, when you're here, if you click on allies, you can see all of the people that participate. And as you can see, all of the top dogs in the guild usually participate. My name here is like Tone21, not Anecdotal. Maybe I'll change it later. But for right now, that's who I am right here. As you can see, all these guys, they all attacked, and they are killing it right now. Now, for those who didn't attack, you can see that they still have those red tickets. And me, as a guild leader, I have no issue or qualms about telling people that they are not attacking. So here you go, guys. Look at this small section of attackers here that's between level 64 and 68. Dude, you guys, shout out. You're great. I love you guys. All right? And then, bam, we have these guys. See, it actually doesn't take a lot of people to rank up, at least in my server, in Guild Wars. More of my guys will wake up. More of my guildmates will wake up if we see that the competition is stiff and we need to get more wins. But right now, with 23 wins and with everybody having at least 2 tickets to spare for each fight, in total, about 12 of us attacked. Because we all attacked twice, we get that 23 wins. And I say about because there's one missing to get 24. And here, against a ranked 25 guild, and there's 9 hours left, so a lot could happen. It's 19 versus 12, which means about 10 people attacked. If we all attack twice, it'd be 20. So it's not too difficult to win, which brings us to the next question. What happens if you do win? Well, what I like to do is I just simply out-level people. So since I'm level 139, I can go ahead and just either face this guy at 134 because I have 5 levels over, and then just grab an easy win. And I just suggest anyone do that. Honestly, depending on the guild that you're in, unless you're in a very high competitive guild, wherever you attack, you're just going to win, and bam, my birds go ahead and cheese everybody, fly over everyone, and get the win early. But either way, I completely out-leveled my opponent, so the attack barely mattered. And as you can see, after that win, I ended up getting 20 gems. That's right, the elusive gems that all newbies really need so that they can start senioring all of their units. Gems. So looking at wars alone, every 24 hours, and for these 4 wars that I'm in right now, I'm going to attack and I'm going to get 20 gems for every win. So when you attack, guys, definitely aim to get the W. That means each war will net me 40 gems. So there are 4 wars, 40 gems for each, 40, 80, 120, 160 gems just for fighting wars. And on top of that, I get those 60 guild coins if my guild closes it out for the victory. And there's so much incentive to do so now because we get a guild buff. We get a medal buff, essentially for being in a good guild. But I know that not everybody is at level 139 and they're unsure of how they could win. So really, all you really have to do is level up and that will solve a lot of your problems. But I know that it might not be easy once you start going up and starting to face higher and higher guilds. So my lowest level guild mate is at level 53. If you look at the other guy, or the lowest level guild member is at level 71. I completely understand that everyone below level 65-ish can't really compare or get a W against these guys. They don't get penalized for it. I just really want them to level up and play the game a little bit more so that they can be competitive for guild wars. And this is why you will see that there are certain levels that guilds want you to be in so that you can fully participate in all of the game modes that guilds have to offer. And of course, Guild War, as the name implies, is a game mode for guilds. If you just ran out of troops and you're running out of time, feel free to attack the bottom of the list. And I tell people this all the time. As you can see here, this guy at 71 was definitely attacked once. That's why he's missing a flag. Now, if you just want easy wins, just hit anybody that's 10 levels below you. So as you know, I just finished attacking 4 minutes ago. Since the refresh time between attacks is 10 minutes, I have close to no troops, but I have a 14 level difference between the enemy that I'm about to face. So here you go. I'm going to go ahead and click battle. And you will see that without a doubt, it's an easy win. Because guild wars are completely found upon having a higher level than your opponent. So as long as you out-level your opponent, you really don't need to worry about strategy. But if you do want to worry about strategy, there are a couple of things that you want to keep in mind. Now, chances are, everyone here, since they're all level 86 or higher, will have a good defense team. This is not a good defense team. So here, if you were lower than level 85, you will definitely be able to beat this team by using air units. Now, the air units or ground units that your opponent uses is completely random. But the defensive team here seriously needs work. So if you have a good air unit, you can fly past this Hands of Death character and this fairy unit and get a win. Well, you're not going to fly past the fairy, but fairies have pretty low DPS, and you might just be able to go past them and get the win. So this isn't really a good defense setup. See, this is a good defense setup, has a Valkyrie, since it's a ranged unit, can hit both aerial troops and ground troops. So this is definitely a team you don't want to mess with, especially since the Frost Demon here in the second slot is actually a very sneaky character because it comes back to life. So you might beat it, your troops might walk past it a little bit, and then it might just try to snipe your crystal. So this is actually a pretty cool move. Now, when that does happen, this might make your troops turn around. On the third slot, this Sly character here, Captain Meow, which thank you for having that name, just so I can use that in the video. Captain Meow was such a funny name. Please, I know that the chances of this are low, but if you are watching this video, say what's up, man. Say meow or something, because that's hilarious. But on the third slot, this guy here, or maybe this girl, has a sword dancer, and the sword dancer dashes up and down. Now, if they're trying to chase the Frost Demon, the Sword Dancer could dash towards those enemies and then maybe even potentially dash into the crystal. And if you start hitting the crystal with the Sword Dancer, it's gone. Like you'll get the win. So these are pretty good defense teams for him. This is not a good defense team. Sure, the Druid pushes a bit, but again, if you have a lot of air troops, this will just whiz right by. This is solid. See, as long as when you look at the first two units, as long as one of them are range, it's not bad. Now here we have a Golem. A Golem is pretty much the tankiest unit in the game. It will just continuously absorb damage and make your guild war last that much longer. Like that battle will just almost never end if you're going at normal speed, because he's just a huge meat shield. This is an okay team. Again, you can just fly past him, but on the second slot, if he has a pet, and since he's level 100, I'm assuming he does have the pet for the Ninja of Darkness, it's going to pull him in. But if not, dude, you might just fly over and destroy old Craig's crystal. Yeah, Sword Dancer. Again, anytime you see Sword Dancer as the first unit, man, you really want to be careful, because it might just dash into your crystal. So you might have the strongest guy. Oh man, if your first attacker is a Golem, which is super slow, and the first defender is a Sword Dancer, the Sword Dancer will dash to your Golem so fast and get to your crystal that you're going to lose, even if you do out-level your opponent. Well, like let's say by 4 levels. Once you get up to like 5 or more levels, it doesn't matter how great your strategy is, you're just going to lose because the level difference is too big, and you're not going to be able to close that gap with strategy. Now, what happened there is I talked about both sides, not just the attacking side, which really all you need to do is try to worry about being 5 levels ahead, and if not, try to be wary of having a Sword Dancer or any other dashing opponent that tries to hit you, and make sure that you have a defense for whoever it is that you plan to attack. So if you see that the first unit is a Hippogriff, you want to make sure that the unit you have will actually hit that Hippogriff, because if not, it will just fly over and attack your crystal and you will lose in your attack. So let's talk about what a lot of new players don't do. When you go ahead and you go into building and you view your defense team, you can set up your defense. Nobody does this anymore. Not one person looks at their defense team. This defense team that I have had since I first T3'd some of these units. Like, I really don't remember the last time I looked at my base. Or, is that what it's called? Yeah, the last time I looked at my defense base. Almost nobody does. This is my team. And while looking at it, it looks okay. You know, I like the fact that I have an air troop so that I won't be caught off by surprise. And then my Ninja of Darkness will definitely kill whatever is there. And then I have a Golem to make sure to stop any strong ground troops. And my Valkyrie hits everyone, and so does my Flame Sorceress. Now, if I wanted to have a little bit more of a tricky team, I could have put Sword Dancer first for those dashes to try to get wins that way. Unfortunately, wins that you get playing defense don't count. So the max amount of wins that you can have in a team is the max amount of players that you have in your roster, which is 30. So since 30 is the max amount of members you could have in your guild, 60 wins is the most wins. And guys, I'm usually in the top 20, and in the top 20, I don't see anyone being even near 60 wins. And the reason for that is because there's going to be some disparity between levels. Like already you can see here that most people in the top 8 of my alliance is 86 and up. I mean, my guild is 86 and up. And then here, top 13, a top 13 alliance, you can see that their lowest member is at 86. So that's the difference between simply 7 spots. A guild that's normally top 20, my top players are at 86. And here, their top is at 167. While for me, my top is at 159. So our top players are still right around the same ballpark, but when it comes to the rest of the guild, they just don't match up. And because of that, even if my guys are completely active and they all attack, we don't have any targets, because there's only so many players I have at level 80. So that's going to cause us not to be able to win the war, but will steadily keep us being at our spot around top 20, and sometimes we might dip out of that and be ranked 21. So make sure to create a defensive team. That way you don't leave your guild hanging and end up being an easy target during guild wars. Because remember, there is quite a few things at stake. Your guild bonus, which increases your metal buff, 20 crystals for getting a win, and the 60 guild coins that you would get if your guild wins. And like I said, guys, if you're wondering if you're too low level to join a guild, if you show that you are active and that you attack and you're putting in work, guys, your guild leader will completely love you. To sum everything up about Guild Wars, is it a worthwhile game mode to pursue? Absolutely. You get an amazing metal buff if you are in a good guild. If you attack and you win, you get 20 gems just for attacking and winning. And you can go ahead and attack anyone. It could be someone below your level by 10, by 5, or you could just hit the absolute lowest person there. Also, if your guild wins, you get 60 guild coins to spend. So, are guild wars something that you want to do? Yes, definitely. And if you benefited from the information of this video, make sure to like it and share it with your guild mates and your friends that play this game so that they know what's going on with Guild Wars. And if you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe to my channel. My name is Anecdotal, and hopefully I get something good here. And no, 10 gems. All right, like for my suffering, guys.